Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Liss, Acting Director of the Philadelphia Art Commission. This is the April 29th, 2026 Sign and Streetery Committee meeting. This is a subcommittee of the Philadelphia Art Commission. This committee makes advisory recommendations to the full Art Commission. Today's recommendations will be considered by the Art Commission at their meeting on May 13th, 2026. Please note the May meeting will be held in person at the One Parkway Building at 1515 Arch Street. For your information, today's meeting is being recorded, and by participating in the meeting, you're giving your consent to be recorded. A link to today's meeting recording will be posted on the Philadelphia Art Commission website following today's meeting. The agenda and meeting materials can also be found on the website. Committee members, good morning. I'm going to call on you one at a time. Please introduce yourself and acknowledge that you can see and hear others. Shannon Garrison.
Morning, Shannon Garrison with the Philadelphia Historical Commission staff, and I can see and hear you.
Morning. Troy Leonard.
Good morning, everyone. Troy Leonard, owner of Kelly Milo Architects, and I can see and hear everyone.
And Rayad Nasser.
Good morning, Rayad Nasser with the Art Commission.
And Philip Green is not able to join us this morning. Members of the public, you may comment on agenda items during the meeting. When the agenda item that you are interested in is being discussed, you can use the raise hand feature. If you are joining by phone, you may also use the raise hand feature by dialing *9 during the public comment period. And as you can see, we have a number of returning reviews today, as well as a handful of first reviews, some of them which have multiple signs in the package. So let's go ahead and get started. Can move to, okay. So I'm not seeing Sherry in the audience, but the Kawa House was one that we saw recently. If you can progress through the slides, please. So originally, we had some questions about the individual letters being affixed to the building without a raceway, as this is a historic building. So they have adjusted their installation approach so that it will be on a raceway to minimize the holes generated by the installation.
It's good to me.
Okay.
I appreciate adding the elevation. I think we also asked for a flat elevation, and that does show the sign within context of the existing elevation, which is good. I think they addressed everything that we asked for. The only thing that I don't see is a section detail, which would have greatly helped explain sort of how the sign is mounted to the wall, but I guess it's not that overly critical. I'm guessing that the raceway is a couple of inches deep, so the sign is probably going to be maybe 4 to 5 inches projected from the wall, but it seems to be high enough that that won't be an issue. So I think it's addressed. Everything that we asked for is addressed satisfactorily, if that's a word, correctly.
Rayad, do you have any comments on this one?
No, actually.
Okay. I think we're comfortable approving as revised. So we will make a recommendation for approval.
It's good.
I
All right,
approve.
and we can move to the next item. Next up is Beach Street Landing at 700 North Delaware. If you are here to speak to this one, please use the raised hand feature. Okay, Sharon, you should be able to unmute yourself at this time.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can. Good morning.
I apologize. My voice is a little less than stellar. My name is Sharon Brandt. I'm with Foreman Sign Company. I have with me my colleague, Howard Shin.
Good morning.
He'll pick up if my voice cuts out. We are back with another version of proposed signage for the East Building at Beach Street Landing, 700 North Delaware Avenue. Beach Street completely dropped our last submission for the two large projecting signs and the two signs on the roof. They are heeding the committee's advisement to consider more of the pedestrian perspective. You can just keep scrolling through. We have a lot of photos showing the East Building from various vantage points, both public and private access. Here are the elevation on Delaware Avenue, for which we were proposing two signs at the two entrances. And this is more shots of Delaware Avenue. They have frontage on the entire block of Delaware Avenue between Fairmount and Brown. And then these are existing signs on the West Building, for which we had L&I approval. They did not require the Art Commission review because they don't project into the public right of way, but we've included them for reference. So you can see the property as a whole. And these are a couple of shots just up and down Beach Street itself. Or we could say used to be Beach Street. Here's a site plan showing the signs on the West Building in green, and then our 5 proposed signs on the East Building in yellow. You can see there are 2 on Beach Street itself, 1 around the corner on Brown Street that does not have vehicle access, and then the 2 proposed at the entrances on Delaware Avenue. And the next few pages are the renderings of each sign location, showing how they'll appear in context to the building. And that covers the remainder of our packet. Here you have the sign at the entrance on Beach. This is the corner of Beach and Brown, just with the details, the section view. And this is the first entrance on Delaware Avenue. Next page, and the second entrance. So we are here and ready and willing to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sharon. And for the committee members, this submission is a little bit more complicated because we do not have purview over all of the signage shown here in the package. We have purview over the 2 projecting signs on Delaware Avenue at the entrances, and in this one, the projecting sign on Brown Street, which is sign number 6. So it's signs 6, 7, and 8 if you're looking at the site plan.
Okay, so it's just 6, 7, and 8. Those 2. I just had a question on those 2 signs, 7 and 8. I noticed that they are 8 feet above grade to the bottom of the sign. Is that correct?
Actually, it's being adjusted. You may have an older drawing at least 8 foot 1 inch higher.
Okay. I mean, is that okay? For a sign, the bottom of a sign over a public walkway, or is there a concern that people can reach that?
I wouldn't think so. And by code, that clearance does permit a maximum projection of 2 feet.
Understood. I'm just speaking in terms of practicality. Someone walking down the sidewalk can easily jump and reach the sign.
I mean,
If it meets code, that's fine. I was just curious or asking um, if you thought that was a concern. If not, then it's not a problem.
no, we don't. I mean, listen, anything can happen, but it's not a concern in this case.
Okay.
I'm with Troy on that. I think it should be elevated if possible because this is too low.
Okay, what do you say? So we can take it up. I'm sure the representative of the building of the Beach Street is stuck in the airport somewhere. I don't know where, but he emailed me this morning. So I don't want to talk on behalf of them, but I can suggest to them that they raise it up at least another 6 inches to a foot, sorry, if support is behind the wall.
We could consider raising up so the top bracket is at the top of the brick. I don't know if we'd be able to structurally mount to that bronze band above the brick. That would be to be determined.
Yeah, a foot would be preferable, to be honest.
That's certainly can be suggested and attained.
So that's probably about, there's no scale in here.
No.
But I'm thinking that brick is probably about a foot higher.
How many bricks are there?
I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't see on this drawing. But yes, if that's possible, yes, then I would suggest it, and I don't think they would have a problem.
Yeah, I would certainly echo the concerns of the other committee members that that these should be raised given their overall size. In terms of their positioning, are they meant to indicate both entrances? The spacing is a little it's not clear what the hierarchy is meant to be here, like if both are main entrances or what the vision is behind these two signs.
So by definition of a blade sign, in what it announces for pedestrians who are coming out either from, is it Fairmount on the one side and Brown, when they come around the corner, they can see where the entrances are. I don't know how critical those entrances are to the building, but they are entrances, and I'm guessing that's why they're having it there, because coming as a pedestrian, that's where you announce, as in stores and shopping centers and everything, you announce where the doors are coming north and south on that road, on Delaware. It also helps to announce the building for traffic, but I'm not going in that direction, but because they don't have anything else. That's just my observation, maybe not theirs.
Yeah, it feels like it's sized a bit more for the automobile traffic, but placed for the pedestrian traffic. But since it's mounted lower, it would be a little overbearing for the pedestrian experience. And can you go back to that last drawing, please, Cindy? There are also awnings shown here. Are there proposed awnings with signage as well?
It's the awnings aren't there at the moment, I can tell you that, but I can't talk on behalf of them. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you.
We don't have in our scope doing anything with the awnings at this time. It's uncertain whether the building developer will provide those for the tenants or if the tenants would be responsible themselves. But there is nothing there currently.
Okay. Can we go to the corner showing these two signs? Thank you. So with with these two projecting signs, understanding that we only have purview over one of the two, I guess given their very close proximity to each other, I question if you need both of them.
Again, it's for people on Beach Street and I guess for people on Brown Street. So if you're coming down Brown, you're seeing the one on Brown. By definition, that's what the blade signs, again, not that I want to state the obvious, but that's what they do. Do you see the one on Beach Street if you're coming down Brown and vice versa?
How do other committee members feel about this corner condition?
I'm fine. It's just the size. It's just too big. I mean, do you see the space? If we can minimize it, it's just I don't know, too many times and too big.
So I got to say the proportion on the building does look big, but it's not that big proportionately. I mean, I know it's hard for you. I mean, we do have on the other side, and it is proportionate on the other side on what would be the west building, right?
Yes.
Yes. We have the exact same signs there, which I think we have pictures or showed, or Sharon had sent pictures of that, and somewhere in this package. You can see there on the left.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of visual information going on, and I don't have that much of a problem with the size of the signs or the amount, the amount of signs. Also, I think the color palette, the signs sort of blend in with the background, the color of the brick and the fascia. So again, I don't have a real problem with the size of the signs or the amount of signs. But I did have a question on the verbiage on the signs. Will they all are these placeholders, or is that the actual text that will be on the signs? Because they all seem to say the same thing.
That is a good question. I really can't answer that for them. This is what they've requested at this point. If there is an issue, I mean, I would run it by them. As you can see, and Sharon and myself, we pointed out, this is Beach Street, and I understand the building's name is Beach Street Landing, as depicted on the square signs. Or if that's something that you have an issue with, not issue, but you would like changed, I would run it by the tenant, not the tenant, the ownership.
Well, I think what's on the signs could go a long way in justifying what some of the committee members have in terms of the amount of signs. If they all say the same thing, do you really need as many signs as you have? But if they were, conveying different information, then that would make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly understand what you're saying, but I don't want to say, yeah. I don't want to talk behalf of. Unfortunately, as I said, Dan couldn't make it. He emailed me this morning. He was stuck at the airport. So, for me, it's not an overabundance of signs at all, and not because I'm the sign guy and want to sell it to you, but and they're pretty tame as in far as what they say, and it's not like a Christmas tree kind of light, you know what I mean? But that's my opinion, not theirs. It is a big building.
Right. And I did just look at the detailed site plan. The two signs on Delaware Avenue, they are both by entrances to the residential lobby.
Raya, did you have another comment?
No,
Oh,
oh,
Raya, it seems like you're freezing.
oh, 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 was one
Okay. So unfortunately can't hear Rayad's comments right now, but I think what I'm hearing from you, Troy, is that you would be comfortable with the signage if they're able to move up, if they're able to mount the Delaware Avenue entrance signs higher. And I think based on your question, we would need the team to also confirm that none of these are placeholder signs that will be replaced uh, by any other information.
Yes, that is correct.
We can find that out. I can get that answer real quick when I get to speak to Dan.
Okay. Shannon, did you have any questions or concerns about this one?
Yeah.
Shannon, I can't hear you. Sorry.
You're
Sorry.
losing everybody today.
I know. Well, not everybody. I appreciate Troy's feedback. Okay. Thank you, Shannon. Okay. So it sounds like if you're able to, um, uh, we need to see some revisions to confirm that they are able to be raised and to confirm that this is the final content of the signage. But with that information, it sounds like the committee could be supportive.
Sure.
Well, we will get in touch with Dan and get the revised drawings over within the next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have the TrueMark location at 1701 Market Street. Stephanie, you should be able to unmute yourself at this time.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, we can.
Hi. All right. So, Trumark would like for the sign committee to reconsider the option number 1 proposal. Just to give you guys a little bit of a background. So, Trumark is rebranding all of their sites. That's going to be consistent with this exact proposal. And this sign specifically has less square footage than what's existing. It will also have the same stainless steel background as like the rest of the canopy and the building so that it stays consistent. I know with the last meeting, you guys had some questions about the illumination, so I wanted to clarify that. The sign is going to be LED face lit. It has a purple perforated translucent film that's going to be on the back of the letters. This allows for the sign to show purple during the day and then show white illumination letters like at night with that purple halo glow that you see. So I just wanted to clarify that. Do you guys have any questions around those comments that you had at the last meeting? If not, then I'll move on to
Actually, I do have a question on
Sure.
Stephanie.
Yes.
You said that you would like us to reconsider option 1.
Yes.
So in your presentation, the new presentation, you have what looks like an option 2.
Correct.
Which I think it addresses some of the concerns a little better, although I still don't quite understand like where that sign is relative to the edge of the canopy. And so I was just curious, why do you think option one is a better option when the sign is exactly the same?
Yeah, I was going to get into that. I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't have any questions regarding the illumination part of the sign, because that doesn't change our proposal if it's going to be on the edge of the canopy or if it's going to be placed against the building.
Okay. Okay. Continue.
Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions about the illumination, so I wanted to move on to the placement of the sign. So this shown here is the option two with what the committee had recommended at the last meeting. TrueMark, we need to leave with an approval after this meeting. So that's why we are proposing both options. So option number one, if you go back to that, I kind of want to start there. So this is what we had originally proposed at the last meeting. And it's gonna be it's like the background is a panel. It's a stainless steel panel, and then the illuminated channel letters are gonna be placed on that. The reason why it's proposed at the leading edge of the canopy is to increase the visibility. Over the years, TrueMark has been here for 10 years now. And over the years, they've really struggled with the visibility with pedestrians that are walking along that sidewalk area. So to increase the visibility is what the proposal is for it being at the leading edge of the canopy. And we would like for the sign committee to reconsider this option. I know that there was also a suggestion with having the letters being individually mounted onto the canopy in like one single line as opposed to it being stacked. And that's not an option for TrueMark just because this stacked version of it being TrueMark and then Credit Union under it, that is their standard rebrand across all of their brands. So they're not considering that option. And it's not feasible to attach the sign in a stacked version just right onto the leading edge of the canopy. They really need that panel in the background. So yeah, this is what they would really like, more so for the visibility and also for their rebrand. And I'll open it up to you guys if you have any questions or comments with option one.
Can we go to option two, please? Well, looking at option two, I will stay with option one if I have to pick one.
Yeah,
Why is
sorry.
that right? Why do you pick option one?
Well, like she mentioned, the visibility, I think will, if they're having it, I don't know. I mean, the visibility, it look like a sign to me also.
Yeah, I would say given the option of option one, which is the canopy sign with the backer that we saw previously, and option two, which is a wall sign, I of which would we have purview over the canopy sign, but our approval would not be needed for the wall sign, as I understand it. I think that, in my opinion, with the backer panel, the canopy sign is still a less than optimal approach, and it doesn't appear to appear that the canopy is really impeding the visibility of the wall sign as it is, with the existing wall sign being at the back of the canopy there. It's not obstructed, and my preference would be for the wall sign. I think what you may gain in visibility uh, with the canopy sign being more proud of the building, I think it creates an awkward condition with the inclusion of the backer panel, in my opinion.
So I do want to note that this, looking at option number 2 here, it's not quite accurate just because they did move up the superimposed photo so that it can be visible, because that canopy just does project out so far. The credit union, it will be lower, kind of as you see in the existing photo with how the TrueMark sign is hidden. I don't think that the superimposed photo is a true representation of the visibility of it, just because they were trying to just show the sign on there. So it will definitely be lower, and it will be obstructed with the canopy because it does project out so far. So I just wanted to make note of that.
But the image that you don't show is the view of the canopy walking on the sidewalk, and that's really the reason that I had an issue with option number 1. It's really about what that looks like and how it impacts what you see as you're walking up and down the sidewalk. You'll have the canopy, and then you'll have this sign that's stuck on the canopy, and that would look very awkward. And from an aesthetic standpoint, that is really what the main issue was. Also, if the sign, what you're looking at in this elevation with option 2 is, I don't think, I think what you're really asking is what does the sign look like from across the street? And if you're standing across the street and you're looking head on to the entrance, you'll see the sign because you're far enough back that you actually read the sign. If you're standing right up on the sidewalk and you're looking up at the canopy, I'm not sure if, putting the sign right at the edge of the canopy is really what it's going to accomplish that much anyway. So if anything, you want the sign to be perpendicular so that people can read it walking up and down the sidewalk. That would be the true test of the effectiveness of the signage. I think I agree with Catherine. I think the sign needs to be against the wall. Unless you can prove to us that a sign walking up and down the sidewalk is not going to have such a visual impact of having this sort of thin panel stuck on the end of a canopy. It's really the issue is not what it looks like looking at it head on, but what it looks like if you're on the sidewalk walking towards the canopy in both directions.
Yep, I totally agree. I just don't think that the first option is an appropriate place for that type of sign. And it seems like with the ATM there's an opportunity for like sidewalk level signage. So, yeah, I agree.
Okay, so it sounds like we have a strong preference for option 2, the wall sign.
Okay, I'll let my client know. Again, they did want to leave here with an approval regardless. So option 2 is the sign that they will go with.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm also here to present the next one, just to let you guys know.
Okay. Okay. Well,
All
we
right.
can continue on.
So 7th Street Burger, they are going to be occupying their new space at 1518 Chestnut Street. I believe I have our sign company representative Lisa on the call as well. I don't, so she can, if she's here, then she can chime in to answer any questions. But if you go to, yes, so this page, they're presenting a set of channel letters that are going to be neon channel letters on the facade, along with some vinyl graphics, but these are the vinyl window graphics that's consistent with the zoning regulations so that it's 20% of the window facade. And then they're also going to be just reskinning the existing awning that's there currently to red to match the whole brand. And I'll open it up to you guys if you have any questions.
Okay, and I see that Lisa is on. You should be able to unmute yourself if you would like to chime in.
I am here and I can answer any additional questions that you might have. I think Stephanie presented the packages as plainly as possible. So
I have no issues with this.
Me neither.
I think it's fine.
Yep, I agree.
I agree as well. I think we are good to recommend this for approval.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, I think we're going to do a quick screen share change. Okay, that looks good. Thank you, Henry. Okay, next up we have hearsay on Walnut Street. If you're here to speak to this one, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we can proceed through the sign package. Do you folks have any questions about this one?
I have no issues. They're using the existing raceway, which is good, or that's what I'm assuming, that they're just replacing the old raceway with the new one and then applying signage to that.
Yeah, I don't know over that.
Yeah, me too. This looks fine to me.
Does anyone know what the company is? Hearsay?
I think it's a
Couldn't find it.
record shop.
Is it? Good.
Yeah, the little record in the first square there. But
Okay, great.
But yeah, I appreciate the reuse of the raceway, excuse me, and think the signage is reasonable. So, okay, we can recommend this one for approval and move on to the next. Okay, next up we have Bar CC at 1620 Sansom Street. If you're here to speak to this one, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we will proceed through the slides. Kaya, you should be able to speak to this one.
Hi, I'm just joining for my boss. I'm the assistant to the owner, and here if you guys have any notes that I need to bring back.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question about the projecting sign, the circular sign, which is 7 feet or 8 feet above the ground. I can't remember what that dimension was. I think that's a little too low.
7.2.
I can bring that feedback back.
And what's the overall projection on that sign?
You know, I'm sorry, I don't have the technical information, but it might be in the packet.
Yeah, I was hoping that we could head back to it. Yeah. So with the mounted lower than 8 feet, it would require a variance. So we would recommend that you raise that to at least 8 feet. Um, if the overall projection is limited to 2 feet, it would need to be higher if it's projecting further. Though at this location, on Sansom, projecting signs may trigger a variance as well.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why the sign wants to be mounted where it is. You want it below the underside of the canopy so you could see it in both directions. But unfortunately, that makes it a little bit too low. So I would suggest either making it shallower, making the sign shallower, maybe it doesn't project out as far, or moving it above the canopy. Because if you move it, it looks like there's a light fixture in line with the canopy. So you'll have to move it above the light fixture, which then, you know, that may be too high. So sort of a interesting situation.
And do you know what width would be acceptable at the height that it is? What projection out?
At the height that it is, I think that it would be too low, and unless it's limited to 6 inches. So I would suggest raising it because I think that would be a bit too small for the design that you have.
Okay, I will bring that back to the team.
Okay. So I think I'm not hearing any issues with the design. I think it would just need to be raised higher, and with that revision, we would be comfortable recommending for approval.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, we have a package of signage at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. If you're here to speak to this one, please raise your hand. Okay. Fred and Eli and Ian, you should each be able to unmute yourselves.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So thank you, and thanks for the consideration today. My name is Fred Poindexter of Saul Ewing, and I'm here on behalf of the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts to introduce a package of really a refresher on the signage that currently exists on the two buildings and the plaza between those two buildings for PAFA. A lot of what you'll see in the package today is replacements for existing signage. Fastenings in the ground or on the buildings are mostly in place already. And there's some updates to some of the current window signage and banners. And here with me today is Ian Goldberg of Cloud Gestion Design, who will walk through the package in more detail and answer any technical questions. And I will be here to address any questions you might have related to our approvals process and our approach moving forward. But I'll toss it over to Ian now to walk through the package in detail.
Yep, thanks, Fred. Okay, so PAFA came to us and they want to make sure that they're well branded within their area there, within their site. In addition to that, they wanted to add some wayfinding to their site. They're opening up, both of the museums have been opened up or renovated and opening up. So the original landmark building was closed for a little bit, but then now it's been being reopened using the primary entrance, as well as there's a secondary kind of ADA entrance in the back as well of that particular building. You can go ahead. Sorry, I thought we were already moving through here. Keep going. So this is the historic landmark building. Like I said, there are on the Broad Street side, there are new additional banners as well as wayfinding signage, which you'll see in a minute on the elevations, I believe. If you go ahead and keep going, keep moving through. There should be some. There you go. So now we're looking at the Broad Street facade of that building, looking across from the convention center entrance on Broad Street, noting what those buildings look like, as well as an old accessory call button that we're planning on taking out and replacing with a sign at that location. Keep going. Keep going. So this is just, again, this is context for the site as you look through the site, down the alleys, at the doors. So just pause here. Can you go back 1 second? Yeah. So this is the back entrance of that building. You'll see right there, that's the ADA entrance, which no one would generally know that it was. So we are trying to highlight that as an kind of primary entrance for anybody that needs accessory access via wheelchair or assistance. Again, this is just to give context of that alleyway, what's beyond it. If you're looking down past, on the left there, on the right-hand side image, on the left would be that door, but if you're looking down that little alleyway, that's what you're seeing. So there's a lot of kind of back of house graffiti and things like that on that site. Keep going. Again, just more context to that site. As on the far left, you'll see an old. Again, this is just that whole back side of the building adjacencies. Here you go. So on the left is what's existing, and again, this is the primary historic landmark building. So what you're seeing there are existing sites, so they're using some existing banners on the building. So there are previous holes and things. We know and understand that this is a historic building, so we're trying to utilize or match any existing holes or old connection points to the building. So we're just reusing that. So there are no new holes being drilled. We're just utilizing what's already there. From a historic point of view. On the right, you'll see where the old blue kind of the push button was for the call button for the ADA, or getting someone out there to tell them where to get into through the ADA entrance. That is there. We're now removing that and replacing that with a wayfinding sign, identification and wayfinding sign at that location. Again, the two banners will be there as well. There are existing locations there, and they're already utilizing that. As we speak, so they're kind of as in situ. We're just replacing them in kind. Primarily, those images will be left up to PAFA to be creating, but we have set them up with a kind of formula of look and feel for those things. Keep going. This is that sign at that location, calling out the historic landmark building, identifying it. We created identify markers for each. Each one has its own icon. Again, that's to assist with the wayfinding elements as well. And then on the bottom of that sign, you'll see a little map describing the PAFA site, which includes the Lenfest Plaza that sits in between, which they will be utilizing for future events and things like that as they kind of move into the 250th year celebrations. General detail, below grade match plate with concrete on top. This is the side entrance to that building. It's been utilizing now by staff and also will be utilized by individuals going to class and those type of things. This is the back entrance. So again, this is more for students and anyone taking classes there and or staff. At the location as well, we want to make sure we identify that as the side facade entrance or side entrance. Again, getting additional information for the public on where to go for the main entrances for the hospital. For the museum, as well as the map being heads up and turned so that as they're looking at that sign, that map is oriented correctly to their view. Keep moving. Again, will be not touching the building, just off the building, just beside it. Again, the same details you saw before. Here's that back entrance, which we're trying to call out as you're approaching from the, I guess that's the eastern side into this site off the parking lot, the public parking lot there. As you're kind of coming into that side of it as an entrance, you'll see what we're doing to that overhang. Nothing structurally. We're going to utilize the same structure that's underneath that skin. And we're just going to give it a little bit of a update and identification for the use for handicapped accessibility. Again, there's another additional sign there for anybody that's coming in that direction with a map and directions to PAFA or to the various PAFA's buildings. Keep going. There's that sign and what it looks like and what it says. Keep going. Like these are the banners that we kind of mentioned out front. This is the same project. Yep. And this is some detailing of that. Keep going. This is the Hamilton building now. This is the newer of the two buildings that was renovated several years ago. And so as we move through this, keep going. This is all the detailing on the signage and square footage, et cetera. And then here's the context of that elevation. Again, the one on the left on Broad Street facing west, we are looking at it from the convention center site. And then just slightly to the right of that is actually what you're seeing to the right of that facade. There's a parking lot down on the far right and another building in between. And that's existing conditions. Keep going. These are all existing conditions. Keep going. Again, so you see in the middle here, those are holes and things already in the facade. We will be utilizing those as structural points to the signage that would be replaced. There was an old sign on here, obviously, and there's been a few of those moments over time where there have been signs taken on and off. But we are going to try to do a match plates or matching all the locations for any kind of structural attachments. And most likely those were pin mounted with kind of a silicone typical building mounted detailing. Okay, keep going. Again, more context. This is the Lenfest Plaza. As you're looking down the plaza, east and west, and north. Again, this is on that same building in Lenfest Plaza toward the back. The far left location will be opened up. They will be kind of renting out floors in their building to Temple and some other organizations trying to bring in some of their kind of art and kind of art and sculpture programs into those locations. So it's going to be a shared entrance now, primarily still owned by PAFA ultimately. But what they're calling that would be the kind of art. They're calling this area the new arts hub. So it's the PAFA Arts Hub, which will entail Temple and a few other tenants at that location. So this would be the primary entrance used by them. Another reason we're creating the location map and the wayfinding signage to direct people to this entrance specifically for those things. Okay, keep going. Back of house, this is the adjacent, as you're looking east. This is that lot that's not owned by them, but it certainly has been utilized by Papa guests, etc. Keep going. So these are so existing on the left. What we're going to change it on the right. The idea would be to utilize the same banners that are there now, expressing a little more of the brand, flipping out the colors, and then putting PAFA on the facade of the building as well, or the entranceway. And then glass letters above that will be vinyl and glass, dimensional actually, that would be attached to the glass. And then the two signs below, the two Hamilton building plaques, we're requesting to remove those and replace them with wayfinding signage and also tenant signage with a moment that can change out for events and things like that within those for those particular tenants on the left there. So here's what you're seeing, kind of the existing, and then what we're doing on the bottom. Again, we're just replacing most of those banners were being placed in kind, and then we're just kind of giving it a little more facelift on the entranceway, using a lot of PAFA letters, and to the right and left of the door, more information for the user. And the left, all the way in the far left there, you also see a building-mounted directional sign as well. Okay. Here's some detailing for the front entrance. We're also repainting that kind of threshold there. Keep going. This is some of the context of the signage that we're trying to utilize on the building. These go back. So this would be on the glass. And this is just basically vinyl on glass, so pretty straightforward. This is the replacement of the corner. Again, this is the location of the sign, as well as the intent would be the overall kind of reorganize or reorient the user to that location and where they are in the full view of the entire PAFA site. More detailing for replacements. So all the signs we're asking to be easily placed if necessary, easily maintained for changeability and updatability and just general use. Again, here's an insert, so they can insert certain programs or museum events that they want to kind of put out to the public on the street. This is how they would do it. It's behind a glass, a lockable unit. That would be changed every so often as they have different events or things like that within the museum. These are all the banner details that would be replacing the existings up front. These are just placeholders now for the overall, what they will say. We're not quite sure yet, but once that information is entailed, again, these would be designed based on that kind of design standards that we created for the overall banner look and feel. More detailing. As we kind of walk down, you can understand that these are the ones being replaced. Top right kind of shows you the key of where they would be. Keep going. So we walk down the east frontage, exactly. So more and more of those. This is the glass on Broad Street at the Broad Street Studio. There is a corner of the building that they use. They call it the Broad Street Studio, where they would, within the building, they put on little demonstrations of printing and other kind of events and things going on at the site. So it allows people kind of walking up and down the street to kind of look in and see what's going on, see the excitement happening at PAFA. So that's kind of a glass install there. We can certainly understand. Right now, we don't know exactly what it's going to say, but we'll have a title at some point in time. Again, that would be on the glass. Same thing here with the exhibit. So this is the next window over to the right. Same thing. Again, this is all vinyl on glass. here as well, here as well. So the museum store sits at that far right portal there behind the glass. And so we're just calling out as a museum store so that people understand that, you know, there is a store in here you could buy things as they're out walking up and down Broad, sorry. This is the back of that building. So, you know, there's existing bike parking area where we want to create a little more identity there. So that we were painting that red, the PAFA red, as well as allowing some of the vendors or tenants to have their identity on the building in the glass area above that. So that's all that would just be vinyl on glass. And again, a little bit more of a directional arrow to the right, the left there on the far right of that window, telling people to go down and around and through the plaza to enter the Arts Hub entrance. And the bottom right, you'll see the identification banner there that's on the building. Here's the vinyl. This is the entranceway now off of the plaza. And these are the changes that we're suggesting to do. Again, taking away the plaques that are there now, utilizing those for other information, identification information for the Arts Hub, as well as a small map that people may be coming for that particular entrance and not familiar with the rest of the site, just orienting them there, as well as putting tenants on the glass itself, giving them a space for their identity on the exterior beyond that of the wayfinding signage. So it reconfirms people that they are in the right location. This is the entrance to use for Temple, Drexel, etc. And then this is the overhang of that building. Again, Temple University, Tyler School of Arts and Architecture would be on that. And then museum entries, again, that message may change slightly once they continue to they're currently in that process of contracting those things. But on the right side, more importantly, we want to make sure everybody understands that this is not the entrance for the museum. The museum entries are onto the far, to go right onto Broad Street for those. Again, more vinyl on glass, legends. This is the sign to the left of that door identifying it as the Arts Hub. That those that don't look away above or can see that from afar, once they get closer, then they don't look up too hard. So this is the sign on the left-hand side of that doorway, identifying it as the Arts Hub. And then here's the other side of that, which is identifying another map for that location. There's the Arts Hub banner. And then looking at that, if you go further to this is that entire facade, which includes the work plaza. I'm sorry, the Parts Hub to the left entrance there, and then everything else is related to the plaza. There are banners there currently, and as well, we're suggesting to change those out and allowing that area to become marketable for anybody that wants to rent or use the plaza for any special occasions. Those banners can change out accordingly to coincide with whatever event that is. Gives them a little opportunity there to identify the event that's happening in the location, as well as any kind of future events that will happen. So here you go. Here's a close-up of all those things. And then out as you kind of look out toward Broad Street, from coming through that plaza area, you'll see the backside of that identifying where the entrances are for each individual museum, and then identifying the plaza itself to the left. And there's currently a dedication of plaque that we're taking down that we want to add back into the signage itself. So we're not adding more signs. We're lessening the two and making it one, trying to lessen the noise a little bit, the visual noise at that location. Okay. Here's another shot looking the other direction. Again, we're always utilizing the same holes and things that were already in the building. Here's that wayfinding sign that's going to be located where that white dot is located, where it's located in the top right. Again, the front and B sides of that. And then here's the dedicatory tag that we can combine all the signs into one. The bottom half of that would be the kind of identifying the torch and who wrote it, et cetera, which isn't there now, but we're just trying to incorporate it into one sign. Again, identifying the plaza itself, and then that's being, of course, belonging to PAFA. Here's around the corner. So there you go. And this is basically the recap of all the frontage and the square footage, et cetera. Okay. It's a lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much for walking through the overall package so
Sure.
comprehensively. I do want to clarify a few things for the committee members regarding our purview over the package overall. The extent of the parkway buffer capture the historic landmark building. So we do have purview over that signage due to the parkway buffer. At the Hamilton building, we only have purview over the signage that would extend into the right of way. So it is more limited for that building. And then we would have purview over the freestanding Lenfest ID signage that we reviewed in this last tranche. So hopefully that provides a little bit of clarification in terms of where to focus.
Catherine, the one on Broad Street on the Hamilton building, I recall this came to a sign committee maybe like 7 years ago, before COVID, where the banners are.
Yep.
So you're saying that we don't have to worry about those ones? I just want to make sure. That's all. The existing one.
The building banners existing hardware is previously approved, but we do have purview over the new design of those banners.
Okay.
But we don't have purview over the wall signs or the window decals here.
Understood. Thank you.
Well,
So,
thank you.
sorry, given that we might not have purview over the main entrance to the Hamilton building in this committee, but I will say the Historical Commission does have purview over both of these buildings, both the one we're referring to is the Historic Landmark Building, which is the Frank Furnace, but also the Hamilton building are both listed on the register. And so I guess given that context, maybe not in this purview, but I would say that the Hamilton building, the main entrance, that's where I had, I like that you guys are removing the existing metal sign band, but specifically the painting of that entrance, if the rest of the trim is not going to be painted to match, but also that bright red color is giving me pause with my Historical Commission hat on.
We initially, kind of informally ran this by the Historic Commission. And they didn't, I mean, they had a couple of comments which we addressed, but we will be formally submitting this as well.
Yeah. You might get a little pushback there. I guess I'll just flag. Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon.
I will also note that we do have a raised hand from a member of the public for this one. If we want to hear from them at this time. Go ahead. Okay, Dennis, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Our only question from the Logan Square Neighborhood Association is, has this gone before L&I review?
It has not yet. That's our next step.
Okay. And we would hopefully that we can hear that before any final decision. And can I make one comment? I love the red and white. It honors Frank Furness as a distinguished American cavalryman, the only American architect ever to win the Medal of Honor for the 6th Pennsylvania Cavalry. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Dennis. Procedurally speaking, it's not uncommon for applicants to commence the review of sign and streetery committee prior to submitting for zoning permit to LNI. So that would not be out of sequence. And sorry, go ahead, Troy.
No, I'll just add that I think this was an excellent presentation, very thorough, very nuanced, and it covered everything. I think the design is great, the overall design. I particularly like the fact that you're respecting the historic nature of both buildings by utilizing, existing signage locations, even sort of mounting the signs using the existing penetrations and holes in the buildings and on the pavement when available. So I just think overall it's a great design and one that respects the character of both buildings.
Thank you.
Thanks, Troy.
Thanks.
Thank you. I would echo Troy's comments. I think this was a really comprehensive presentation and thoughtful design overall. I have two main questions. With the removal of the accessible entrance call box at the front, is there what wayfinding signage would there be for someone needing the accessible entry toward the front to be able to locate it?
Sure. If whoever's driving wants to go to that page, I could show you that. There's actually information on that sign type. So are you talking about this one? No, you're talking about the one that's replacing the blue, the old blue call button on Broad, correct?
Yeah.
Page 15.
Yeah, let me go there. There you go. So yeah, so if you see on the sign there, on the top listing, I suppose, there's listing there for the building, and then you see the identification symbol for wheelchair. So that's telling them to go around the side. Plus, there's a map that calls that out.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Sure.
The other question I had for you was regarding the freestanding Lenfest ID sign.
Sure, let's go there. At the bottom of the ramp. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was the only one for me that felt
This one. Yep.
Yes, that felt very out of character, and that it really it really conflicts with just the openness of the existing plaza and the experience of the art. This one I was less supportive of.
I agree.
Yep. Okay. Noted. Thank you. I think we could probably maybe just completely move it if that's the case. I think that we do have a map and things on the building there to the right, so I think it could be considered redundant in that case. But we'd be happy to remove this if you feel necessary to remove.
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly that it's redundant and that it should be removed.
Well, that's a good comment. Thanks, Catherine. Okay.
I guess the other question I had for the accessible entry is the
This
the
other, I think it's the other direction. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
There you go.
We'll
There you
get
go.
there. Is the painted graphic, is that the final iteration of what that wall will be?
It is. That's the universal symbol that's used. Yes, and that's just that would be the kind of yellow, the kind of bronzy tone. That's just a direct paint to the building itself. And then we're painting that whole back. Right now it's gray, so that whole 7 foot height kind of concrete base there, if you will, the building itself. We're gonna yep, there you go. So we're painting that. We're kind of neutralizing that gray a little bit, kind of pushing it back, becoming part of the brick color or closely to the brick color, kind of so it's not so contrasting to the building, and then allowing the signage to kind of be more contrasting off the building so it's visible. If that makes sense to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate any effort to make this a more welcoming entry point.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do much about the bollards and the gas tank, the gas meters, and everything else going on there. But they just recently put some bollards in, additional bollards in, I believe, to protect those areas as well as the doorway itself. Because in past, you can see that on the left there, that top corner has been banged up pretty bad with trucks and things going back there, and I think the bollards will help that from happening any time in the future once this is re-skinned, if you will.
So, Ian, that sign, does it sit against the wall or is it protected?
It's in the ground. It would be the ground mounted version again. So we have to dig up the concrete, put a footer in, and then match plate, and then attach it to that and redo it. So it sits off the building so slightly. Again, it's historic, so we're trying to avoid any issue there. Still allowing the 3 foot right away for any kind of ADA access.
Okay, that was my question.
Yep.
If it sits out from the face of the wall, would you have adequate clearance?
Sure.
Okay.
Great.
Commissioners or committee members, are there any other comments?
If we can go back to the Hamilton entry on the right of way, there is a new sign on top. I just want to make sure it's okay. Go back. No, keep going.
Yeah, the other building. Yeah, we gotta go backwards. There you go. Yep. Keep going. Sorry.
Right there. Is that a metal or is just a? Oh, okay. I don't know.
That's the one on the left. You're talking about above the parapet there.
Above, yeah.
Yeah, that area. That's the existing sign on the left. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of the old aluminum, which you can't read because it's tone on tone, so it's really hard to visibility. Really, is horrible. And we want to add the one on the right. We want to darken and kind of adjust it to the kind of structural color that it is, so it becomes more unified. And then basically allowing the print or the text to read off of it much better. So for ADA, you need at least a 70% or greater contrast value in order for readability, and that's why we do that.
No, it looks good. I wanted to look at it again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
No problem.
So, from what I'm hearing from the comments so far, it sounds like if you're able to remove the freestanding Linfest ID sign that we discussed from the plaza, that we would be comfortable recommending for approval with the comment that you should expect that you should reach out to Historical Commission as their purview over these buildings is more robust.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And thank you, commissioners. We've reached the end of our agenda. So.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.